Hi, this is Professor Paul Muffler here at UCBA School of Medicine. I am a stem cell and cancer biologist, but I also do educational outreach, including through these videos here on YouTube. And today we're going to be talking about in this video kind of a fun topic, which is cyborgs or Cylons or however you want to, think about it. Basically, the interface of human beings with technology like robots and AI. Yeah, so we can jump right into it, and I'll share my screen and we can talk through this recent post I did on this topic. All right, so I kind of grew up with the original Battlestar Galactica and then watched the reboot of that, and it's kind of fascinating to think about how you can integrate humans with technology, and this is something that's been obviously covered in other sci-fi in many other contexts, and depending on how you think about integration of humans and technology, you might consider that we already have cyborgs. Even someone with a pacemaker is really an integration of people with technology. And of course, there are many other kinds of implants as well. So in this post, we're kind of dealing with a little bit different approach or way of thinking about combining humans and robots, because these scientists reported, and you can see here on the screen, making these robots that are mostly mechanical, so not human. But then up top, instead of just having chips, they actually have some human brain related kind of tissue. And so I thought this was really interesting. And in part, what struck me is what we've got here up top. It's not a human brain. These are actually very small robots that we're looking at here. This is what we call a human brain organoid. And I've covered that on my blog. So just to scroll back up, here's my blog, The Niche. It has a lot of resources. So it's not really just a blog, but there's a lot of information like for patients thinking about stem cells, etc. And so that blog really goes hand in hand with this YouTube channel. So my own lab actually makes human brain organoids from pluripotent stem cells called iPS cells, and many other labs do around the world since that technology was innovated now quite a few years ago. And in this case, what they've done is they've actually combined human brain organoids. So it's really just a little tiny bit of sort of like still developing human brain and kind of plopped it up top on these robots. And I think this got hyped. They're talking about like robots with human brains. Again, these are not really brains, but it is pretty interesting. There's kind of a cool element to this. We should note that brain organoids, again, they're very small. They're not fully developed. And although they are human brain tissue, they're not really going to function in that same way. So in this example, as best as I can tell, uh, I think most of the robot's actions here were actually guided by standard chips, so not this human brain tissue, but it's possible the human brain tissue, the brain organoids here, did contribute some kind of function. So I think that's kind of interesting to think about because, a lot of times we think about a human being, like if you think of Neuralink, we think about a human being getting a small implant into them. Here we have a robot kind of getting a small-ish implant of human material. So it's kind of different, but you can think about these things from different directions, like something that is mostly robot or something that's mostly a person with some robot in it or some kind of AI or computer like technology in there. So I think both with these kinds of robots and also thinking about the Neuralink implants, we are moving forward to probably a new reality where it's not so unusual for there to be combinations of human and technology beyond what we already have, like I mentioned, pacemakers. And so I think this is going to continue. And this brings me, you can see recommended post here at the bottom of this post. I wanted to just briefly touch on this other interesting post where quite a different situation. Here they just have sort of um, a chunk of tissue in addition, the lab that they're sort of calling robots, flesh-based robots. It's a little bit freaky, I have to admit, but there's kind of a coolness factor there. I think these eyes aren't actually like biological. I think they're just kind of there for fun. And I think in this case, what they've really achieved is kind of a bit of tissue that can contract and kind of look like a face. So I don't really consider that the same kind of thing as a robot, but the New York Times kind of called it that way. So anyway, that's a really different kind of approach. But again, if you kind of think of it together with the other post, These are interesting technologies. They're emerging. People are doing research on them. So regardless of your comfort level, these things are happening. So something to think about. So I'd be curious of your thoughts on this. So please weigh in the comments if you have any feelings about these sort of combinations of technologies that, maybe seem kind of more like sci-fi in the past, but now are becoming reality. All right, with that, I'll go ahead and stop sharing, and hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.